my delicious co-creators. Lilu here. I'm on the Juicy Living Tour today in Oslo, in Norway, at the top of this brand new building, at one of the buildings of the Minister of Agriculture and Food. Is that right?
That's right.
And behind us, actually, right here, we have one of the buildings where some of the bombs have exploded. And you were working in that building.
Yeah, I worked there previously, but this is now the Prime Minister building, or was the Prime Minister building, when it was bombed last July.
Wow. So it's quite something to have it that close. And the Norwegians are still touched by that event. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm really, really, really excited to speak with you. And I know this happened kind of at the last minute, but that was really, truly one of my intentions to speak about this big seed bank in the north of Norway, in some islands, 1,300 kilometers from the North Pole. You have been involved for many, many years in this project, right from the beginning. So this is juicy because I'm excited because there's so much information going out on the internet. You know how it is. So here I'm kind of going to the source and having this information so that we can get clear, because it's quite a monumental building out in nowhere, where there is thousands and thousands and thousands of seeds, millions of seeds that can be stored. Tell us about how is it called, where it is, why it exists, what is the initiatives. I guess it's apparently 100% funded by the Norwegian government. Tell us all the details.
Well, it was an initiative that started in 2004 when the International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources was adopted. And then I think mostly in the scientific community on genetic resources, they decided that now was the time to find one common place to have a backup storage for all the seeds in the world, in case they get lost somewhere from where they are.
From a disaster? Or?
Yeah, of course, when you put all your seeds in one place, of course, if the electricity goes down or if there is a fire. I mean, we have experienced water floods and earthquakes, and also wars and this type of human strife.
Yeah. Because this is a massive, massive construction.
Well, it's Svalbard is actually a miner society, so they are quite used to digging into the mountains and kilometers with tunnels. So in their view, it's not a very big tunnel inside the mountain, or there is a big building. Entrance building, which is quite extraordinary because it's shaped like a triangle, and also there is an artwork on top of it, which is giving a bluish light, which is very nice. And but inside the tunnel divides into 3 chambers, and we are now filling up the chamber in the middle with boxes of seeds from all over the world.
Seeds, what kind of seeds? Because there's so many different kind of seeds. We're hearing of GMO seeds, of course, and seeds that can. So those are special seeds. Those are real seeds?
These are real seeds.
Or Monsanto seeds?
No, these are not GMO seeds. Yeah. It's not allowed to store GMO seeds there according to the Norwegian legislation, because
so they're checked.
Yes, and these are seeds that are collected in the country of origin, in these for these different types of seeds, and also some are plant breeder seeds that had been selected for and crossed for many years, which are now stored in gene banks all over the world and used by farmers and plant breeders in those countries. But the Svalbard is providing the backup. That's a backup collection of all the seeds.
For the whole world or just Scandinavia? Is it only Norwegian, or is it, because I know there's some similar project that happened in the Philippines or other countries, but it's not really that solid compared to this one.
Well, there are collections all over the world, but this is the one big backup collection, and we received.
How many seeds?
It's very close to 750,000 different types of seeds. But each type, for each type, we store about 500 seeds. So 750,000
Millions.
Yeah, something.
And people can bring their own seeds.
Well,
Not really?
not really.
Because I read that.
Well, yes. Well, mostly it's organizations that deposit seeds in the seed vault, and
Not individuals.
no, we asked them first to have, because this is a backup storage. So first they need a solid storage before they store it, have a backup storage. So we asked them to be sure that the facility they use on a daily basis is a safe facility, and also we only store unique seeds. We don't store twins or duplicates of the same type, many types of the same type of seeds. So the seeds should be unique. So there are 750,000 unique seeds up there right now.
Yeah. So what are some of the corporations then that bring it there?
Well, there are some international gene banks. And there are also national gene banks, and there are also a few organizations of more like NGOs that take care of seeds and use the seed vault as a backup. But it's open to all in principle. But of course. It makes more sense that we store seeds from organizations. And also another quality or qualification is that these seeds are also made available from their original storage to farmers, to plant breeders that like to develop them further or use them to promote their
so you encourage the local farm. Are we still talking international farmers?
Yes, we are still talking.
So you send them out and they come from there. And
well, we don't send. We don't do. We just store on behalf of the owners of the seeds.
Okay.
So we don't give the seeds away to anyone else. Then we just return them. To the owners. It's like a bank. Yeah. So the depositors get them back.
I hope it'll go better than the bank world right now.
Yes, we are taking good care of them.
Good. Tell us why this specific location all the way north on an island, not far from the North Pole.
Mm-hmm. I think the most important criteria is that inside the mountains in Svalbard, there are permafrost. There is less than 4 degrees minus all year around. So in case we don't have electricity, if electricity should fail, the seeds will still be safe there. Okay. So we thought that would be a very important thing for a long-term storage, because this storage is planned for hundreds of years.
Yeah. When I saw that, I immediately thought, oh my God, how visionary Norwegians are. Because a lot of people talk about collapses, about the world going like upside down, and here you go and create this blocos, this massive I don't know in what it is exactly made, even. That would be interesting, but and you were the ones that put some explosive, from my understanding, to see how strong it was, and here it's I mean how it's a vision. No, what does the Norwegian government sees, or that you see, that is coming up, so that it's important to do this?
Mm-hmm. Well, we think to conserve biological diversity is quite important. Yeah. And we have a lot of project and engagement in doing that, and we collaborate internationally with other countries and also with intergovernmental organizations like UN and the Food and Agriculture Organization. And we think, so this is a part of that work. So this was something that we could do since we have this remote place which is cold the whole year around, and still it's available. It is high-tech place with a university center there. Oh. And we have a lot of research going on. It's they have a satellite center and a lot of it's an international community.
I want to show, I don't know if you can see the picture. You can look, of course, on the internet. It's everywhere, but just so that you can see it. So you have a lot of researchers as well there?
Yes, but not this Seed Vault is not a big organization. Actually, there are no one really employed for the Seed Vault as such. We just we hire Nordic Genetic Resource Center. They go there whenever the seeds arrives. About 4 to 5 times a year they go up there and receive the seeds and put it on the right place in the right shelf and do the recording. And also we have local people taking care of the temperature, the cooling system, and whatever that's needed.
But apart to preserve this, is there any other thing that the government is worried about so that it's that solid? You know, like a global crisis or wars, or because it's quite a strong building.
Some have called this the Doomsday Vault. That was actually
I'm going there if something happens. I mean, let me tell you.
And I think that was the media called it. We haven't really. That was not what we thought of, but we realized that the seeds that were stored in different facilities all over the world, many of them in developing countries where there might be a civil strife or where there has been natural catastrophes, but also in Western countries. To have all the seeds in one place, it's is a risky thing. So that's the reason why we do it.
Because a lot of people, you know, I've been interviewing people and traveling all around the world, and one of the preoccupation of people and what's really going on, I can see it in the US and everywhere, is people are starting to garden, people are starting to collect seeds, people are really aware of how important it is. So when we see that there's a big thing like this that is organized by the government, this reinforced the idea that this is an important thing to do, but it also brings worries, you know. So that's why I was wondering if there was another reason why the government was doing this that you would like to expose or something, because it is a big concern around the planet right now, and you're showing an example and. So there is lessons in there or precautions or whatever comes out, you know, because I'm here to inspire people, but to also expose information that needs to be exposed.
Well, of course we saw that first of all, we didn't think of this as a very, very big thing when we built it.
Really?
No. We thought it was a very simple thing. It was not too costly and it was possible to do it. So that's why we did it. We saw also that this could be a way to inform other people about why genetic diversity is quite important. And but we didn't realize the big interest it has received.
Beyond the scientists, yeah.
Yes, because before, I mean, this was a well-kept secret amongst the scientists, the importance of genetic resources and all the issues connected to that, which is very, very many cool things, actually. But it was not well known to anyone outside of that community. So we think this the recognition of genetic resources and the awareness raising that this seed vault has created is so valuable, is as well as valuable as the seed vault itself, really. So, and because we think it's the main thing is to conserve and to make sure that these seeds are used in a sustainable way. That's the most important thing. And when I say sustainable way, I'm thinking about food security. I'm thinking about helping small-scale farmers in developing countries to adapt their agriculture and their small-scale production to changing climate or to other difficulties they have in their agriculture. Because without the diversity, without finding specific genes that are adapted to a warmer climate or adapted to the new pests that may arise, it would be very difficult for them to increase agriculture or to just keep on with their agriculture as they do today. And also in our countries, it has, as you said, it has an increased focus, which we think is very important. Yeah.
It's also a concern. You know, it's like people are preparing, but they're concerned. This is raising fears also.
Mm-hmm. I can see that that was not our intention at all, to raise any fear. We think it's important to focus on the importance of the genetic diversity, because it's a basis, it's the main basis for our food production. Yes. And in many years now we have focused, our modern agriculture has been focusing on only a few varieties of crops, and it's very easy to forget, and a lot of this diversity has actually been lost during this last century. Yeah. And it's important to take care of it for the future.
But we see that if there is a virus, or if there is something going on that just, who knows, get this earth like, you know, just upside down, that what do we do? I mean, what do we do? And we cannot help to wonder, is there something that we don't know happening, so that there is a government and some people highly placed that are setting something up? You know, you've heard of the conspiracy theory, Emma?
Several conspiracy theories, and I say that there are many important reasons for establishing the seed vault, but those are not one of those reasons. Okay. Yeah.
And is there some other things that you would like to share about what the Minister of Agriculture is doing here as part of its plan, or some other things regarding this vault?
Well, we see also that we think it's an important way to show them, or we think it's important to also that the seed vault also should be a place for international cooperation within the field, and the minister has gathered different people from different countries to talk and discuss about these issues and how we can cooperate globally on taking care of our future genetic resources. And we do this both in also on the Nordic setting, but also on an international setting. So in September we invite the whole world there.
Can I come?
Yes, you are welcome. It's a very technical event, but it's a quite important event when we will talk about how we shall in the future will share these seeds and other types of genetic resources, which is important for food and agriculture. And we try to find common guidelines, common rules for that, etc. Yeah, that's interesting.
So you oversee the whole operation. What is your role in this project in particular?
Well, I'm working. It's quite fun actually, because I'm working in an office like this in a daily life. But now I had to deal with the permafrost, how it works, and also about electricity facilities, and sometimes it gets a bit slippery in the slope there, so we have to discuss how to deal with that. And I also work with the budget issues and with information projects and on the website. And
You're everywhere.
Well, I don't do everything myself, but I'm working with people, and and it's very fun to work with people on this project. They are very positive and it's very engaging.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for taking the time to do this interview here on top of this building in Oslo in this changing weather.
Yes, this is Norwegian summer.
Woohoo! Bring on the coat. No, it's been beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Much love, my delicious co-creators, wherever you are around the world. I hope this was informational, useful. Please share it. Much love. Bye. On the internet, you know how it is. So here I'm kind of going to the source and having this information so that we can get clear, because it's quite a monumental building in nowhere, where there is thousands and thousands and thousands of seeds, millions of seeds that can be stored. Tell us about how is it called, where it is, why it exists, what is the initiatives. I guess it's apparently 100% funded by the Norwegian government. Tell us all the details.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was an initiative that started in 2004. when the International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources was adopted. And then I think mostly in the scientific community on genetic resources, they decided that now was the time to find one common place to have a backup storage for all the seeds in the world.
Yeah.
In case they get lost somewhere from where they
From
are.
a disaster? Or?
Yeah, of course, when you put all your seeds in one place.
Wow. So it's quite something to have it that close. Huh? The Norwegians are still touched by that event. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm really, really, really excited to speak with you. And I know this happened kind of at the last minute, but that was really, truly one of my intention to speak about this big seed bank in the north of Norway, in some islands, 1,300 kilometers from the North Pole. You have been involved for many, many years in this project, right from the beginning. So this is juicy because I'm excited because there's so much information going out on. Hello, my delicious co-creators. Lilu here. I'm on the Juicy Living Tour today in Oslo, in Norway, at the top of this brand new building, the one of the buildings of the Minister of Agriculture and Food. Is that right?
That's right.
And behind us, actually, right here, we have one of the buildings where some of the bombs have exploded. And you were working in that building.
Yeah, I worked there previously, but this is now the Prime Minister building, or was the Prime Minister building when it was bombed last July.